After coming off a summer of racial injustice and seeing that we need to all be part of the solution, it's really important upon us to be able to provide tools for fundraisers of color so that not only can they advance their own careers individually, but also promote those organizations that have long served underrepresented communities.
Advancing the careers of fundraisers of color will make the biggest impact on philanthropy by allowing voices that are varied to move into leadership positions, which impact how the story of the organization is told and how philanthropists are introduced to the issues and the direct service of the organization.
Our group was founded on the principles of fundraising innovation, and we know that innovation can't happen in a homogeneous environment. It needs diversity of thought and purpose, background and experience. And so we set out a few years ago to really diversify the sector and our approach to the work.
I think a significant problem for people of color accessing the fundraising sector is the lack of paid internships. I know many of us, myself included, benefited from unpaid internships, and it was our opportunity to get much valued experience and a foothold into the fundraising profession. But that is definitely not the case, especially now for a cross-section of people, particularly people of color.
The immediate change that we'll see in philanthropy as a result of these efforts is greater diversification of our boards. We know our boards have the greatest impact on our fundraising abilities, and so having more diversity and representation at that level will completely change how nonprofits can serve their representative communities.
I think fundraisers can do a lot to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion now, because we need to remember our roles as the ones who raise the money for our nonprofits. And we know that money and other resources help drive the programming to advance our missions. So if we apply the same role that we have in wielding those resources to talking and advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, we can finally see some of the changes that we've been talking about for years, including greater diversity in the highest levels of our nonprofits, and especially in terms of diversity of our boards.
On behalf of the New York City chapter of AFP, I invite you to be part of the solution to promote diversity in philanthropy. If you're not a member, I encourage you to become one. If you are a member, I'd encourage you to become even more involved. For us, it's the time to affect change.